Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. As you probably know, the Ukrainian ports in the Black Sea are blocked by the Russian Navy, and the Ukrainian grain could not be distributed or sold to the rest of the world or wherever it's usually sold. The Russians, though, they sell their stuff, their grain. In this case, is a problem with wheat and oil, cooking oil, which Ukraine, I think, is the fifth supplier of wheat in the world. So that's a big chunk of the world market. And here we have President Zelensky, or at least his office, making some statements how they can unlock the blockade, the Russian blockade in the Black Sea. All right, so see, how will they do it? This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from May 22nd, 2022. This is the title. Office of the President. Ukraine itself will unblock the Black Sea if it receives MLRS systems. So they want multiple launch rocket systems. That's what they need to receive from the West to be able to unlock the blockade. So multiple launch rocket systems. Head of the office of the President, Andriy Yerman, in Telegram, his advisors Mikhail Podolyak on Twitter claimed that they need this kind of MLRS. And this is what Yermak wrote. We need to get high precision missiles, drones, anti-aircraft defense system and ammunition. We are still waiting for MLRSs. And Podolyak wrote 1.6 billion people may become malnourished due to the lack of food. Hundreds of millions will fall below the poverty line due to rising prices. The Economist predicts the consequences of Russian aggression and invites the world to agree with Ukraine and Russia on international food convoys in the Black Sea. Bargain with a country that has taken hundreds of millions of people hostage? ? We have a better idea. The world should agree on the transfer of MLRS systems and other necessary heavy weapons to Ukraine to unblock the Black Sea. Then we'll do everything ourselves. And now just remember, because I'm going to come with the reality. This is just, we care so much for the rest of the world, and I will come with reality, shockingly. So let's recall that the UN warned that the closure of ports in the Black Sea could provoke global food disaster, which will lead to famine, mass migration, and political instability in the world. Yeah, and I would add that if you remember, also President Zelensky said, well, we need this because the world is starving. Some Western leaders said the same thing. For the sake of God, open up the blockade, release it, whatever you want to call it, because the world population, they all care about the world population. No, they're so careful right now, and that's what the reality, because they have big hearts. Nevertheless, if you remember, it was a UN officials pleading to Putin, or with Putin, to Mr. Putin, if you have heart, please close or stop the blockade of grains in the world and so on. But interestingly enough, yesterday I uploaded a video talking about the same thing, and more exactly the same. I was building what they say and then what they say in other circumstances, and it's a big contradiction. So all this, care for the hungry children of the planet, and the Russians are, blocking them from receiving food and the high prices, and there's going to be migration, it's going to be mass starvation, it's going to be all that. Now, yesterday I presented an article where I think it was Kuleba, the foreign minister, I think, of Ukraine. He was cheering an incident that occurred in Egypt, where the Egyptians turned around a delivery of grains from Russia. So they were happy. These Ukrainian guys here, they tell you that everybody's starving, they need their grain. This guy was cheering that the Egyptians said, okay, we don't take your grain, told the Russians. So what's going on here? If those, I thought that you care so much for people and for children and all that, any kind of grain is good, right? When you're starving, regardless if that comes from your enemy, you're starving, you're gonna eat from whoever is gonna give you something. You don't have much choice. So on one side, you profess this love and your care for the world population and all that, and then on the other hand, you cheer when a government decides to block the shipment of food, of grain from the country you don't like, which could possibly result in less food, obviously, in Egypt by not getting that grain, but being politically following the script. So I think that's evil coming from these guys cheering and from the other guys blocking. Or if those guys in Egypt have plenty of grain, which I know they don't, but let's say they do, then yeah, okay, they can afford being like that. That's fine if it doesn't affect their population. But I suspect it affects its population because I know that Egypt is heavily reliant on foreign deliveries, shipments of grain. And on the other hand, it seems to me that Ukraine really doesn't say, and this is my, evil interpretation, it doesn't really care about those people and the rest of the world, starving, the children not having food and all that. What they care is them selling the grain to someone, not anybody else. So if they can't, they don't really care about the other, if they will have food or not. Unless we sell ours and you buy ours, then it's good. If we are blocked, we don't care, guys, actually, because look, the Russians wanted to provide you with that, and I don't think they just showed up over there, knocked at the door and say, hey, you want some grain? I think there were some contracts. You don't just show up in a port like that. So these guys were happy about that. So that tells me that they care more about the public relation aspect, the angle of the issue than the real people. Otherwise, I don't know. How would you interpret that? You're happy that guy shoots himself in the foot or shoots his population in the foot. How for what? For me? Because they don't take the grain from my enemy? So your little interest is more important than those people's livelihood. That can be interpreted as noble to me, but nevertheless, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.